we're looking at the best defenders in FC24, going through the rankings and just seeing what sort of price budget, what you're looking at, and what can you get from defenders. So we have, three different variations of a 3-back, a 4-back, and a 5-back. Realistically, I don't know many people playing a 3-back. Let me know down below if you are. Obviously, the 4-back seems to be quite common, and 5-backs tend to be quite sweaty. So depending on what you want is going to be what you need in these positions. So I've tried to kind of keep everything cheap on the first one, because you can get some decent centre-backs for very little price. So if you're looking at a gold Virgil, he's 20,000 coins. If you are starting a brand new account, that is going to be perfect. You could literally get Cola and Virgil for 49,000 coins. I'd say that's a pretty good centre-back pairing straight off the bat. May not be the elite division pairing at all, but you will build your coins up, build your packs up, and we're in Team of the Season next week. So that's going to be a complete whitewash. We're going to basically redo everything. All of it is going to be Team of the Season themed, as most definitely a lot of these are going to be completely obsolete with 3 playstyle pluses, which is going to be nuts. Other versions is like Company. Both versions, we got 55,000 and 160. I've kind of tried to keep the cheap around under 150 to 200. I think Carfu is the exception. He's got an SBC as well, but he was around, I think, about 180 to 200. But he's still very good for what card you can get for that. Icons in themselves, a lot of the primes now are coming in with literally no value. I could have filled this up with a Rio, a Desai. I could have filled it up with, I suppose, a Berezi, but really, is he going to be worth it? But then we also have the likes of Matteson, 94,000 for a phenomenal left back. Great stats throughout, double playstyle plus, a perfect option if you are looking for it. Kimpembe, definitely not as prominent as we've seen in previous years, but he still is a very good centre-back if you wanted to have him. Obviously, during Ligue 1, I don't know if he's done enough for Team of the Season, but could still get a flashback, a moment, something to keep his rating high. At the very minimum, we could see him at footies at the end of it. Or even, I suppose, in the Euros, you could have that, I suppose. Then you've also got someone like a Varane. Mainly for him is that if the silky centre-back is still there, I'm just double checking as well, you can go and get the 85 and put him into this silky centre-half, which is, you've got unlock it within 3 days and it expires with 10. I think that's a perfect one to go and do for Varane, purely on the fact that you can make him a 90. So for instance, if I was to show you over here, it is the Silka centre half and you go and whack Varane in. It's personally one that I've done. You can obviously put him as a 90 here. I want to know what's this. Okay, you could put him into the 86 and then make him a 91. That's even better, to be honest. But if you've not got one of them, so that's basically put him in the Unleashing Potential, which is a max 88. Getting him 1 rating higher, then putting him into this, that's not a bad option either. But you do get the Block Plus on top of the Anticipate. Never a bad option for Varane. He's always going to be class. He does end up with the same pace, pretty much the same defending physical. So it is very similar. You just get the 5-star, and another playstyle plus on top. And Lucio is always one to mention. Is a very good centre-back. And that is why they're cheaper now, because there is better cards out there. But if you are looking for very cheap, very affordable, these are going to be the cards that you want to be looking for. But if you do need some coins for the top players, I've got the site for you. So if you're looking to improve your team, make sure you're heading over to lootbar.gg. They are the best and most reliable coin service you can find. Also with the best 24-hour manual customer service that you physically cannot find anywhere else. But before finishing on lootbar.gg, make sure you are using the code JT11, 8% off your first ever transaction, and then 5% off every time after that. Once you've gone through the payment, you'll be able to get your coins within the next 24 hours, absolutely guaranteed. Also with the code, you'll be able to get 5% more coins on every transaction. Make sure you do click the link either in the description or down in the comment section below. Now moving into sort of the mid sort of range, I've kind of put them into there where I'd prefer them. So like obviously top of the top, some very decent cards, the mid, the cheap. They are at the point now where centre backs, fullbacks are pretty much in one. Like there is no, that you've got like the top 4 kind of centre backs, top 4 fullbacks, but really in terms of actual playing, this is probably the one year I've seen a complete variety of top defenders. You've got like a Virgil mixed with a Maldini, or mixed with a Varane, or mixed with an Akanji. There's so many different pairings that I've seen. other than kind of your normal, if you were way back in the day, you had a PK and a Ramos pairing with Dani Alves and Marcelo. Like, that was everybody's back line. Last year it was like Virgil, Varane. You had, I don't even know who the left back was. It'd be eventually like a Roberto Carlos or an Alphonso Davies. Right back would tend to be someone like a Cafu or a Carlos Alberto. Everybody had that one line. And this year, honestly, you could stick with cheap and still be absolutely fine. You could go with mid, and to be honest, you're looking at someone like a Bright. Very good team of the year design, obviously. The card itself, I feel like the other three are definitely a little bit better. Cola is an argument for top of the top, but in terms of price, and you can get him relatively cheap at a 236 is not bad. Sol Campbell, you can get at 320. You can go put him in the Galazzo Show Evolution, make him a 92. Again, another great option that you can go with. Aerial Bruiser, never one to be messed with. Even a Maldini nowadays. The SBC has gone, so he isn't actually 1.8 mil, but if you look at the pricing of him, he's currently 390,000. That's insanely cheap for what is one of the best centre-backs we have ever seen in FIFA. It's crazy that he's that price already. And again, it's because he's got a 91 or 93. Well, he's got both. He's got a 91, 93, and also a 94. So there's already so many different variations that you can go with. This isn't the only one. Marquinhos and obviously De Ligt, fantastic pairing you can go with. Marquinhos unfortunately didn't reach the full potential, but with the Anticipate, always going to be fantastic. And De Ligt managing to get to the 92 was brilliant in itself. The pace has been a massive increase. Defending physical is absolutely on point. And then you kind of look towards someone like a Tomori, who is out and out pace. Again, kind of being overlooked now because no double play star plus soon won't be a triple. He's necessarily not got the 5-star weak foot either, and he is just a brute of a pace card. That is kind of what his aim is. Yashin, on the other hand, he is coming in at 1.1 for the SBC. I think the SBC is still around. Yeah, it's till the 10th of May, so he's still got a lot of time for the SBC, but the card itself is only coming in at 435,000. For me, I'd probably just go and buy the card, to be honest. 1.1 mil of SBC fodder is a lot. I would much rather go for the coins if you wanted him. Gravadal obviously need to get City through. They are currently drawing, so I would say he's kind of in the mid-range until he manages to go up again. I'd probably be saying like 91 would be his top sort of point, and then whether he goes any further will depend on Man City's reign in the Champions League. We obviously have Bastoni and Cannavaro. Cannavaro with a very cheap SBC, which is always nice. Bastoni has expired now, but always got to give love to some that are absolutely brilliant for the price that you paid. Also, two fullbacks, we obviously have Frimpong, 360. Unfortunately, the Playstyle Plus will take a big battering here. Only 81 defending and 76 physical. We need that mid-range now. The upgrade below the Team of the Year, but above definitely this Thunderstruck. But I think more than likely now we'll see Frimpong in his Team of the Season state, which is going to be better than the Team of the Year. I feel like they're going to do an absolute number on him. And Roberto Carlos, you can never complain with. He's always nostalgic and absolutely brilliant going forward. Now, we've got a full house for this team. There's a lot of top-end centre-backs, like I said, even full-backs. Full-back-wise, you're looking at Zambrotta, 5'5", very, very big upgrade for him. Finally, we managed to get something, let alone then getting an evolution for the base that takes him to like 90 rated. Is crazy in itself that we waited that long, but a cracking right back if you wanted one. Even Carfu's Thunderstruck at 470, little bit cheaper than the 5'5", and still brilliant. Carfu is one of them ones that just doesn't lose the class. No matter the rating upgrade, he is brilliant in all versions, and he definitely can still dance with the best of them. If we're looking on the left-hand side, Sakina, as much as the SBC is very, very expensive, I want to say it might have gone by now. It probably should have been. Yeah, it's expired by now. She's still a very good card. I don't think anybody had any qualms with how good the card is. It's more just the price of how much she was at the time, especially with some massive SBCs coming out in all my birthday. I just didn't think she was worth it in terms of price point. In terms of rating and how she acts, brilliant. Rapid plus with a technical, never going to complain at that, but most definitely it was just majorly down to the price, especially with someone like a Bompasteur there. You've obviously got Lazarazu a little bit further down. You've got Alphonso Davies' his flashback. That one has gone as well, but still brilliant in that left back role. If then we're kind of taking a little look down, we've got the Ultimate Dynasties, Ferland Mendy. Always love him. He's just perfect in every way. Roberto Carlos is Future Star, and that's mainly towards the SBC rather than necessarily... it's more to the transferred card rather than the SBC, because the transfer's coming in at 480. Very much like the kind of Maldini and also with Yashin. Very expensive on the SBC because of when it came out in comparison to now, where the market is just absolutely on the floor. We obviously have a Reece James. I'm pretty sure he's gone by now, but he was a must, an absolute must. 91 rated for 176,000 was brilliant value. I don't think we're going to get a better right back than that for the pricing. Whether Team of the Season's got something up its sleeve, it's going to be an interesting one. Ashley Cole as a fullback, very, very good. Again, like with Sol Campbell, can go in the Galazzo show, makes him a 93 as well. Again, never going to complain about a 93. Baka, one of the best SBCs we've had. Baka, and I think I am missing Havertz in this. So Baka and Havertz winter wildcard. Fantastic left-back SBCs. Baka came first, managing to get the full upgrade. Havertz got himself a lovely shapeshifter that moved him into left-back, and it just agreed with him. So them two were kind of like the front runners for left-backs going forward. Like we said with Lizarazu, very much like Bonpasteur, finally getting an upgrade with heroes and really doing well with it is always a perfect sign. When we look at centre-backs, arguably people are loving Marquez at centre-back. I love him as a CDM, but he can play centre-back, he's got the anticipate, and he could have gone up in the Heroic Chronicles to a 91 as well. For 286, that is great value. Desai, Militao, we've obviously got Blanc, Cordoba, the big boy Akanji in himself, and then obviously that's everybody on the bench. These are all top. They are. You could literally use any pairing and still be fine. And I think that's kind of what EA wanted. They've kind of gone with the playstyle pluses now being the big effect. Everybody's a good rating, like you've got 93, 90, 92, 90, 91. All of them are on that same page. They all have 90 defending plus. Most of them have at least 90 physical. Pace is in the top 80s. There's no difference to the cards other than body build, skill move, weak foot, which plays a little bit of a part in a defender. I'd say in a centre-back, it's only the weak foot, and to be honest, it really doesn't feel like it makes that much difference. Obviously, passing-wise, it's going to be more, I don't know, prominent, I suppose, but realistically, I don't really pass that much into my centre-backs. I tackle and I get the ball wide, but it's not enough to say that that's going to make a massive difference for me. So that is where the Playstyle Pluses come in. Is the aerial and anticipate better than the aerial, the aerial and intercept? Is it better than the intercept and the block? What is your favourite kind of way to play the game? And I think they've executed that perfectly. It's kind of hard to see the start of the game because it seemed like we got the Mbappe, which is none of their fault. Player of the month is player of the month. We got a Mbappe, we then got a Eusebio. We already had a Dalglish, they gave us a Maldini, they gave us an Alphonso Davies, a Baka, a Havertz, a Schmeichel SBC. And without knowing, we kind of thought, well, my team's done. I have not seen so much of a progression down phase from now and since the Galazzo promo. My cards, if I'm not using the Galazzos or not using the top of the top, feel so much worse. And that is only going to increase even more if and when Team of the Season does arrive with a triple playstyle plus. That is going to be massive when you could have an aerial, an anticipate, and an intercept, a bruiser, a block. That is going to be the next wave of progression, which I think they are doing really well. If we look at the kind of top end here, Varane is always going to be fantastic. That's why I personally like the silky centre half. You are paying 15, 30k, whatever the base is, if you haven't got him in your club, for free to make him into a 90. And granted, he may not have the same pace, defend and physical, but he's a 90 card the same as a 1.1 mil, and you've paid 15k. He's a fantastic centre-back regardless. We also then have Saliba, who could also go into the unleashing potential. I think that's a perfect way to end Saliba's kind of reign until we get the absolute monster that is the Team of the Season. I don't know if he's going to get it. I think there's going to be a lot of candidates, but he has got to at least the minimum get a community. If for whatever reason that he doesn't get a Prem, he's got to be in the community at the minimum. I just don't see a time where he doesn't get into that Team of the Season this year. We then have a Vidic. Arguably, you could say this one's slightly better with the slide tackle plus. Again, it goes down to the playstyle plus. I'm pretty sure, I want to say it's bruiser or block or something that the 94's got. But in terms of this 91, now that you can go with the Galazzo show to make him a 92 as well, there's arguments. Would you rather go for the slide tackle plus instead of? Both of them have the aerial. Both of them have the free, I believe. I'm pretty sure, we'll find out in a second, but a fantastic centre-back at 51,000 coins. Probably should have put him in the cheap list. Carvalho, love SBC. I said this with Ramirez. Unfortunately for me, as a Man U fan, it wasn't a great day, but at the silver lining, I have Carvalho finished. Don't quite have Ramirez, but both of them got their double upgrade from that result, so I suppose at the minimum, at least I got a 92 card. It kind of helps me sleep at night a little bit, but I mean, it is what it is, but still a very good centre-back from it. Aerial, Anticipate, never going to argue with. Arejo, he's been brilliant. We've been waiting for that upgrade. We obviously got the Radioactive. We've had an Inform. We needed that next step up, like I said with the rest. 91, 90, 92, 91. Fantastic. He's got himself the aerial block. Again, with a lot of centre-backs. I like the Anticipate personally. That's going to be my personal favourite. And as you can see, it does feature in quite a lot of the defenders out here. And let's get into the top then. And then we have the ultimate. These are some of the best centre-backs, fullbacks, whatever, we have got personally. When you look at the fullback selection, a backer 91. We love the 90. The 91 was obviously going to be that next level up. Galazzo, Carlos, 5-5 whip pass. Relentless, maybe not as good, but 93 Carlos is fantastic in himself. The gorgeous Rolfo SBC at 93 rated, the max upgrade, and one of the best potential SBCs we've had all year. She has every stat possible. Honestly, I'd imagine she's going to get a team of the season, or at least a footies at the end. If we could see what a 99 Rolfo could be like, that would be nuts. Genuinely, if we could get triple, quadruple, playstyle pluses, 99 in every stat, that is going to be one of the most statted cards we have ever seen in FIFA history. Renard in a lovely team of the year. Teo, Sakina, Virgil, Frimpong and Diaz, all in that lovely team of the year design. I can imagine these are going to see a massive price drop once we get into team of the season and into the Prem more specifically, because we're going to have cards that should hit this level. Team of the year this year, I think they've done so well to keep them maybe a little bit higher priced than kind of imagined, but relevant enough to say if you could pay the 8.8 for Virgil, you would definitely be in amongst quite a lot of the top categories. If you could get the best defense in the game, even if you went for the best defense in Team of the Year, a Teo, a Virgil, arguably Renard over Diaz personally, and like a Frimpong, that is going to be a defense that could take you to the end of the game. It depending on how the triple playstyle plus works, that most definitely could. But that is the question. Does it take you to the end of the game? Or does it take you to mid-team of the season where everybody has got themselves a 93 all the way through to a 96 new PSG left back? You've got a Bundesliga right back. You've got a Prem centre backs. Could they be the next selection? And that's the big thing with team of the season this year is there's a lot of speculation. Live cards, normal cards, moments, evolutions. There's going to be a lot of content over the next 6 to 7, maybe even 8 weeks of team of the season. Then we go straight into Euros. Then we go straight into footies. This is going to be the longest, quickest end we've seen to an FC because it's all just going to come back to back to back, which I am absolutely excited for. I pray they give us the shapeshifter still as well in between the Euros and footies. I want to see myself with a big boy CDM that's gone into a striker, a Acuna gone into a centre mid. That is kind of what I want to see. But when we look at all these, there's hardly any point kind of going through every single one because we know full well that they are fantastic. You could pair it with Lucio Company, Rio Maldini, Maldini Vidic. You've got Carlos Alberto who can play right back, centre back. Carfu's brand new card. You've got obviously the wonderful Frimpong. Furlan Mendy, who is one of the most expensive left backs we have seen for a long time. He was like 7 to 8 mil at one point. That is, it's just a crazy time for the top of the top. And the one thing I really like is as much as Virgil is number one, I don't think there's any question with that. If then you was to drop him out because he's far too expensive, every single card here could pair and you would have one of the best defenders in the game. that is the beauty of having so many different cards. At times, they are a bit expensive when you look at every card here. 2 mil, 1.1, 1.6, 1.6. Vidic coming in probably the cheapest at 450. You got 1.5 for Diaz, 710 for Renard, 2.3. There's a lot of expensive cards, but that's kind of the sort of theme they're going around. The top of the top now isn't just a million coins. We're looking at 5 million plus, let alone this is defense. To be honest, this is probably the cheapest you're going to get. You look in the midfield, you've got 8 to 9 million cards. Strikers are 15 mil extinct. It's crazy at the top that the defense is one of the easier ones to get, but also you could pair so many players together. You could literally go for that top category and still be really fine. Like, you're not going to completely crumble because you haven't got anybody from this list. If you've at least got one, that's a building block, and especially for Team of the Season to come, it's going to be a very interesting one. So let me know down below, what is your favourite defender in the game, and who are you most excited for in Team of the Season? And I'll catch you all tomorrow. Peace.